Good morning. How is everybody this morning? We will, notifications will go out here in a second, so we will just give it a few minutes. There they go. We'll let you know that we are live and online and ready for another exciting edition of the Coffee Chat Show. Anybody who watches the show, you should go over and join the group. We changed the name of the group so it makes more sense to people. It's actually called the Working Warrior Mom Group. It is a private group separate from, the Facebook page. So again, the Working Warrior Mom Group. We are really going to work on building that group and doing some cool stuff in there. And that's where, if we are going to do a Zoom class, a virtual class, or even a live event, I'm going to start doing some virtual free events, and then we're going to offer some other stuff. So just kind of one-off stuff. But if you're interested in that, or you want to participate more with us, that's the place to do it. The page has like 1 million followers, and so usually if I'm doing sort of stuff that I just want to speak to the people that actually are interested or really want to do the work, or really want to work on themselves, we're doing that in a separate group, right? We're doing that in the Working Warrior Mom group. So we changed the name. So Tracy's in here posting links to the group, and we just encourage you to join. Also, if you want to join the newsletter, we are doing Wonderworks Weekly, which is just a weekly couple paragraphs of inspiration. Doesn't cost anything. We are not asking you for anything. You just go in and put your email address in and sign up. You can do that off of thecoffeechatshow.com. Again, that's thecoffeechatshow.com. So just a couple of opportunities to participate with us. Doesn't cost anything. Janet's saying she loves the new newsletter. She gets it. We're not soliciting anything. From time to time, if I'm doing a class or offering something, it will be on the bottom of that newsletter as you can participate if you want. The newsletter is mainly because my mother used to have an inspirational thing that she did most of her life called Wonderworks Weekly. And I decided to revive it as our weekly newsletter off of the Working Warrior Mom, kind of network, right? So you can join the newsletter by going to thecoffeechatshow.com and finding the newsletter button, and then you can join the Facebook group, the Working Warrior Mom group. That's where we'll have deeper conversations. And for the people that are in that group, we really want to encourage you to start participating more and talking to us. I check that group every morning. I'm happy to answer questions in there and talk to people at a deeper level, kind of off book, right? Off of the main show here. All right, let's jump in. So last week we were talking about habits. I was asking you what habits, to take a look at what habits don't serve you anymore. This week I went on and did a quick 9-minute live about Coach's Corner, about how hard it is to make a new habit. Altruistically, we can say, oh, I need to start doing this, and I need to create this new, way of being for myself. And that's great. It's easy to see where you want to make a change, right? I just realized I haven't started the audio recording, so just for the purpose of that, welcome into the Coffee Chat Show. Habits. When you want to make a new habit, it's easy, like I said, to altruistically say, oh, I want to create this new habit. I want to start getting up earlier. I want to think more positively. I want to stop going right to negativity in my head, blah, blah, blah. I want to do this. I want to do that. Easy to say all that. Then when you are sitting there and trying to make a new behavior, or you have a thought that you don't want to have more of, and you're not sure how to push it away, or you're not sure what to do in that moment to get a better thought, it's work. You require a strategy. It requires vigilance. It's not just oh, I'll completely change the way that I am, and that's going to be easy. It's not easy. I am really working on, I would say that I practice what I preach in my own head probably 75% of the time. The other 25% of the time, like you, when I have something occur, I have a thought that I don't want to create more of, and I go down the rabbit hole, right? I'm like worrying, I'm concerned, whatever. Really, because I'm teaching this, and because I keep talking about it, and because I coach people, and because I coach people in corporations, I am really kind of on my own case about getting to 90% or 95% of practicing what I preach, as far as the thinking and, only thinking positively and only dwelling on things that I want more of thought-wise and feeling-wise inside my own head. So it's difficult because something happens, a thought comes, you really consciously have to be aware of yourself to enough to say, oh, that's a thought I don't want to repeat. That's not the direction that I want to go in. You've got to grab the new thought, you got to pull it in, and then you have to intentionally focus on where you want to go, 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 versus where your mind wants to pull you. So, I was reading something last night which talks about, I keep asking you guys, what do you want? I keep saying to you that to create a vision for your life, that's what pulls you forward into the future. So I was reading something last night that says, for a change to stick, it has to connect with your passion, your purpose, and your values. For you to be able to make a change that sticks. So let's just say that you're saying you want to lose 10 pounds or get up earlier or whatever the new habit is that you want to bring into your life, right? For that to even gain traction with you, the reason for you wanting to change has to connect with your passion, your purpose, and your values. Sometimes when I'm talking to people and I say to them, like, what is your vision? They just look at me like I'm a crazy person. Most people don't think out like, oh, what is the vision for my life? They don't even, because they're living here. So when I say to you, what do you want? There's actually a few more questions that we can give you that will help you dig into that a little bit more. Who do you want to be? And who do you wish to be? Which is really the same question, just asked in a different way. 10 to 15 years from now. So when I say, what is your vision? This is where I want you to start to imagine, right? Because when you bring in creativity and imagination, so, get a notebook, a clean piece of paper, a clean slate. Take some time this weekend, if you have it, just to sit down with this question. I'm going to do it. Because when I think about my vision, I think either, what do I want my whole life to stand for? Or like, what do I want the next year to look like? I myself am not thinking consistently in 10 to 15 year increments. So let's just say you sit down and you ask yourself, who do I want to be a decade from now? What do I want to have 10 years from now? How do I want to show up 10 years from now? It's a very different question than, what's your vision for your life for the next year? Or if I just say to you, what's your vision for the future? Like, I feel like that's kind of a mushy question, right? There's a lot of places you could go with that. If I say to you, hey, what do you want to see happen in the next 10 years? 10 years from now, when you wake up today, 10 years from now, who do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to be doing? What do you want your life to look like? Who do you wish to be? So instead of living inside this scope where most of us are living, because stuff's happening every day, right? And it's like, and then when stress comes, that gets even, that scope gets even smaller. I can see you out of one eye, right? Because we have these thrown behaviors, right? We're thrown to behave in a particular way. This is where stuff like I work with people and do DISC assessments, right? I bring that into companies and I bring it into coaching. And this is because the DISC assessment gives you like kind of the picture, the snapshot of where you're thrown to behave. And when I say thrown to behave, it's like when pushed into your box, when put under stress and pressure, you have a particular set of behaviors and a particular way that you are that just is. And it's really helpful to know that, because once you know that, you can see where to stretch and grow and where your stress points might be and where your stuckness, which I don't know if that's a word, but I'm making it one, where your stuckness is, okay? So here's a helpful exercise to get to this, because I might say to you, what do you want 10 years from now? Who do you wish to be 10 years from now? And you might look at me and say, Noelle, I have no freaking idea. I barely can get through the day. Fair enough. Get some stickies, Post-its, and write down 27. This is an exercise that I don't know if you guys know this about me, but in my spare time, I'm always reading, studying, and trying to learn more, just kind of my thing. So I'm reading this coaching book, and this is where I picked up this exercise, which I think is really cool. So 27 things that you would like to try, experience, or accomplish in your lifetime. 27 things that you would like to try, experience, or accomplish in your lifetime. One item on each Post-it note, and then stick it like to the wall or on a surface, and then get a board or a big pad or something, and then group those things into themes, right? So it could be like family, work, wealth, health, extracurricular activity, whatever. I thought that was a really cool exercise, and it really might help you see kind of what's in your head about what you envision for your life. Remember, for change to stick, it has to connect with your passion, your purpose, and your values. So when we talk about habits and changing habits, we first have to get to what is your vision and what are your values, and do your values connect to your vision? And the vision, I'm asking you to make that out 10 to 15 years. Because I promise you, I don't think most of you are thinking like this. And what happens when I ask you, what does it look like? Who do you wish to be 10 to 15 years from now? That's a question that you have to use your imagination for. That's a question that you have to get out of your daily minutia bullshit. You gotta go beyond that so you can answer that question. And so immediately that starts to put you in a different place. When you are in a different place, you can attract different things to yourself. Possibilities will open up. Ideas will come to you, right? I'm telling you, most of us are living in here. And then when you get stressed out and worried about money or your job or your family, whatever the hell you're worried about, you're now down to, you're here. You're here. And when I go, what do you want for your life? You're like, I just want to be able to pay my bills. Okay, that's cool. And that's a good aspiration, to be able to pay your bills. That's not your vision for your future. That's not who you want to be 10 to 15 years from now. Who you want to be 10 to 15 years from now could be a business owner if you're not one. Maybe you want to start a foundation. Maybe you want to teach little kids to read. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you want to start your own nail salon. You know, maybe you want your kids to all be paying their own bills. How about that? What do you wish to be 10 to 15 years from now? Who do you wish to be 10 to 15 years from now? 27 things that you'd like to try, experience, or accomplish in your lifetime. One thing on each sticky note. You have to do 27 and then group them into themes. And then that will help you in constructing your vision 10 to 15 years from now. Good morning, everybody. People are saying good morning and I'm not saying anything. I see you all. Good morning. In order to create change, real change in your life, you have to be willing to do the work, which we talk about all the time. You have to be willing to be consistent. You have to be willing to call yourself on your own bullshit. And you have to be willing to do something different. If you continue to do the same thing, you're going to continue to get the same result. This is why we talk about a growth plan. This is why John Maxwell has spent his life talking about a growth plan. Most of us are not thinking 10 years ahead. We're not thinking in decades. We're thinking like, how the F are we going to get through tomorrow and next week? Even myself, I'm thinking out a couple of years, maybe 5 is probably the biggest. I mean, I say this is what I want for my lifetime, but I haven't mapped that out. I haven't sat down and said, okay, 10 to 15 years from now, what does it look like? So I'm going to do this exercise along with you this weekend because I want to see what could open up to us as a possibility if we started thinking 10 to 15 years ahead for a vision. So when I say, who do you wish to be? What do you want? Answer me that question looking at 10 to 15 years from now. Don't answer me that question looking at next month or the end of this year or even a year from now. Answer that question 10 to 15 years from now. What do I want? Who do I wish to be? You're going to have to use your imagination and be creative. Most of you have not probably considered that. Like really considered, what does a day look like for me 10 to 15 years from now? A day in my life 10 to 15 years from now, what does that look like? For change to stick, it has to connect with your passion, your purpose, and your values. So before we can really talk about how to create a new habit, I have to get you guys to have a vision and then look at your values, your top 5 values. Make sure they connect with that vision that you have for yourself a decade from now. And then that's where your power is going to come from to create the new habits. That vision will pull you into the future. I don't want to drag you kicking and screaming into making new habits. I'm not trying to drag you into a future unlike the past. I want you to imagine. I want you to be like when we were little kids and you thought you could be an astronaut or a queen or a princess or a superhero. What happened to that version of you? Where's that person? That's who we require to Imagine your vision 10 to 15 years from now. What does that look like? Because once you write that out, then that's something you can start reading every day. And then that's going to open up, right? It's going to open stuff up, because then when something happens inside the day, if you're reading that vision every morning and every night, and then stuff happens in the day, your perspective has changed, because now you're like, I'm going there. And so this is like, whatever. I'll deal with that. But I don't have to like freak out about this, because I know where I'm going. And it's different than where I am right now. And you don't have to know how you're going to get there, by the way. You just have to do the next thing in front of you, whatever that is. So you make this vision of what it looks like 10 years from now, and you don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. All you have to know is that that's where you want to go. I have a choking cat in my office. That's awesome. Kitten. He sits in his bucket and looks out the window, and he sits with his neck like on the thing, and then he starts coughing, and it's like, really? He does this over. This is the example of someone who has a habit that doesn't work for them, that they just keep doing it over and over, because that's this cat. He literally sits on the thing, he puts his neck down like this, and then he chokes and chokes. And then you have to go over there and move him. Wouldn't you think after, he's probably 12 or 10 years old, would you not think after 10 years that he would determine that if he got in the cat house and he leaned over like that, it was going to make him choke? But no. So he's a perfect example of those of us that have habits, and we know they don't work for us. We know they're not taking us where we want to go. We continue to do them, including me. If you guys saw my desk right now, you'd be so disappointed in me. And every day on my list is clean my desk. And do you think that I have cleaned it once this week? Nope. I have not. It doesn't work for me to have a messy desk. I know this. I feel better when I have a clean desk. Yet, here we are. So even when you are astute in your personal development, even when you are teaching and coaching other people, okay, there's never a moment where there's not work to do. There just isn't. What you do is you become more self-aware, and you're able to tell the truth about it, and you're able to not make excuses. I haven't cleaned the desk because I just haven't cleaned the desk because I'm being lazy, and it's ridiculous. That's what's been going on this week. Who do you wish to be 10 to 15 years from now? Who do you wish to be? You have to be able to imagine what that will be like 10 to 15 years from now. So that you can then open your experience and consciousness and your mind to all of the things that will bring that to fruition. Right now, most of us are very, I'm going to say closed-minded, and I mean that in this way, right? We are literally dealing with the day-to-day. Maybe we're thinking about where we want to be by the end of the year or at the end of next quarter. But then life gets like really stressful and shit starts coming at us. And now I'm telling you, we're down to one eye. Okay? This is my scope. What I'm trying to do is get your scope to be like this. And the only way that I can do that is to start asking you leading questions called, who do you wish to be 10 to 15 years from now? Who? Who do you wish to be? What do you want to have? How do you want it to look? What will you be doing in the day? What will you drive? Where will you live? What will you be wearing? Who will you be talking to? What will be your legacy? What will your life be about? Who have you contributed to 10 to 15 years from now, what do you want to be able to say about who you are? Stop living small. Stop living a tiny little life. The tiny little life is what stresses you out. I literally am always thinking about what I can be doing to help someone else. And when I get freaked out about money and other stuff, I just keep inventing something else. Now I'm doing 2 free events, which I've ordered coffee and desserts and rented hotel rooms, and I'm giving away gift bags, and I'm not charging anybody anything, and nobody's sponsoring it but me and my company, my own company, Fortunato Partners. And it's costing me lots of money to do both of these events. They're called Choose Happy, one in Vermont, April 19th, and one in Boston, May 20th. And people are telling me, you should charge people and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to. I want to show people what it's like to work with me, and I don't want to be a girl that's doing ClickFunnels ads and filling up your inbox with buy this and do this, and I just don't. Sometimes I'll throw a class up with a price tag and I share it with you guys, and if people enroll, great, and if they don't, whatever. I just continue to look, how can I add value? And then God continues to take care of me, and somehow it all works out. And I have news. I'm not sitting on big bank accounts filled with money, okay? Money comes in here and money goes right out. I'm always sending gifts, buying things, paying Kim and Tracy to keep this whole brand going. The Working Warrior Mom, by the way, folks, doesn't make me any money. It doesn't bring me any money. It costs me money every month to run this brand. And I do it because I want to help. I want to give back. I've learned a lot of things in my lifetime, and I want to share them in case it can help somebody. Just in case. Just in case it will help you. So, when I get scared or freaked out or whatever, I go on, I make you a video, I throw up a class, I go say something to somebody, you know, I get out of my own way. I look for ways that I can contribute. I just keep going. I just keep doing the next thing. That's how you stop living small. It's not like you're going to come to a time where you're not afraid. You're going to just have the fear and do it anyway. You're going to crack yourself open and start expanding your vision. Look, the world there's a lot of shit going on in the world. There's a lot of people that are not happy. There's generations coming up behind us that don't have very much emotional intelligence because they've, been raised with this. They don't know how to look people in the eye and have deep conversations. They don't know how to have confrontive conversations in a workable manner. They don't know how to lead. They need help. They need help. My goal is to open the Apply Happiness Institute in Vermont and really start just digging in and working with companies and people, and then be able to work with the colleges for free to do programs that help with these things that I see coming up behind me, because, a lot of what I do, right, is train, and we're in workforce development with our other company, with Delta Hire, and I see holes. I see things that need to be spoken to. All of you can make a difference in some way. You can. There's something you can do. And if you just get out of your own damn way and start thinking about who you want to be 10 to 15 years from now, these things will open up to you. You'll have ideas. Something new will present itself to you. You'll be like, oh, you know what? I always wanted to learn how to play the violin. I want to teach piano to children, to little kids. Somebody might say, you don't know anything about piano. That's okay. I can learn. Maybe you want to learn how to speak a different language. Maybe you want to travel to another company. Maybe you want to build a business to help other women. Maybe you want to, I don't know. What the hell do you want to do with your life? Maybe you're working in some shitty job that you hate, and every day all you're doing is looking out of one eye. What a waste. To look out one eye. There's a whole thing here. A whole thing. And I am starting to push myself to expand. I want to expand my income so that I can do more and I can create these things that I want to create, which are going to cost me money. So I am pushing myself to expand. Therefore, I'm digging in to see what else can I learn. And now I'm sharing it with you. And now I'm going to push you guys to expand. Because if I'm going to do it, you're coming with me. If I'm going to blow out and start expanding my vision, you're going to expand yours too. All it takes is one crazy person to think that they can change the world. That's all it takes. Just takes one of us in each of our situations. Just takes one person to say, you know what? I'm going to help people be happier. I'm going to teach people that positive psychology is a real thing. I'm going to teach people how to communicate better. And maybe in your world, it's something else. There's probably a good amount of people that think I'm crazy because I'm doing these free events and doing all this shit. I don't even know if it's going to work. I really don't. I don't know if it's even going to work. But my philosophy is throw shit at the wall and let's see what sticks. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? I want to help more people. I want to expand my vision. I want to do work with companies in Vermont and in New England. I want to help people expand their own vision for themselves. So now I'm just on a thing and I'm going for it. I've had t-shirts made and keychains made and, like I said, rented hotel rooms, and I'm doing all this stuff. It's just costing me a fortune. My husband probably thinks I'm out of my mind, but he's kind enough to support me anyway. I want to be the change that I want to see, like Gandhi says. And I'm saying to you guys, each one of you in your own lives, you have a dream or a wish or a vision. You haven't told anybody. You're not speaking it out loud. You don't want anyone else to know. Or you've told some people and they said you were crazy and they're not supporting you. And they're like, oh yeah, that's nice. I hope it all works out for you. Screw that. You don't have to listen to those people. Don't worry about that. There are those of us that are crazy right along with you. And all it takes is one person in every circumstance to think that they can create change. That's all it takes, right? You'll see that I pivoted the Revealing Leaders brand to Apply Happiness. I've been telling you guys this. I pivoted everything. That is now the social media sites for Fortunato Partners is Apply Happiness. I am determined to have people see that they can choose. They can choose to be happy right in where they are just because they said so. They don't need any evidence. They don't need any facts. You can just be happy just because you said so. You can. You can be grateful just because. Look, I've been broke, poor, scared. Right now I'm scared. I'm stepping out and doing like all this new stuff, and I'm doing all new materials, and I've gotten all this stuff, and I've taken on these hotel rooms, and I'm terrified because it just might not work, and then I wasted all this money. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm smart enough to know that if I want something to change, I got to do something different. I'm smart enough to know that if I want to expand my vision and crack it open, I am taking, I told you I got John Maxwell certified. I am taking his certification for DISC. I am already Wiley DISC certified. I want to get into companies and do this Choose Happiness event for free. Choose Happy. I want to get in there. I want to show them what it's like to bring positive psychology in. And then I want to work with their workforces. I want to train leaders to lead right. I want to show people how to care about other people. I know I probably look like an idiot. I don't really care. I don't. I just want to help. I really do. And I want you guys to help in each of your worlds. I want you to help. I want you to do what you're afraid to do. Because if I can do it, you can do it. All it takes is believing that you can make a difference. And then just get in there and start doing it. You don't have to know how, right? I'm just doing shit. I'm just doing shit. We'll see what happens. Tracy's going to fly out in May and help me do the event in Boston. We'll just see what happens. A couple of you are coming to the one in Boston. The one in Vermont is April 19th. You can find it on Applying Happiness. Anyway, start thinking about who you want to be 10 to 15 years from now. Craft that vision for yourself. Ask yourself those questions. 27 things you would like to try or experience or accomplish in your lifetime. It's time for you to catch your dreams, you guys. It's time for you to think outside of stop looking out of one damn eye. Stop looking out of one eye. You can make a difference. You just have to try. And you can get out of your way with your own grievances if you just look to see who you can help. Just keep doing the next thing. Just keep doing the next thing. That's all there is to do, the next thing. All right. So, sorry for the snots and the tears. I didn't plan that, but hey, you know one thing about this show, it's authentic if it's nothing else. All right, go out and do something amazing. Join the Working Warrior Mom group. That's where we can talk more about what we talked about today or any other questions that you may have. Tracy and I are in there every single day, several times a day. Those of you that are in there, post something, say something. We really want to get some action going in there. There's about 200 and something members right now. We'd like to see that grow. We'd like those of you that really want to continue kind of the coffee chat conversations through the week. We'd love for you to jump into that group and join us there so that you can talk to us at a deeper level throughout the week. Again, Tracy and I are in there several times a day, every day, looking to see if there's questions or if people need help or whatever. So if you want to participate more with us, get into that group. And people are telling me I don't look so crazy. Thanks, you guys. Probably going to get off this thing and go, oh my God. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. I'm going to say goodbye to the podcast here. And Facebook fam, join the group and join up for the free newsletter if you want off of thecoffeechatshow.com. And we'll see you soon.